Welcome. This is Crime Queen. If you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we get excited about love. This is where we ignite that which dwells from within us, that which comes alive, makes us smile, makes us happy, makes us laugh. Hence, we say the crimson light is life. So, we are continuing our presentation on number 5. We have done 2 presentations. It's revisiting number 5 because it's really getting to understand the numerical values, how they have impacted our lives. They are around us all the time. And basically, the more we get to understand the numbers, the more we get to recognize them in ourselves and others, and of course, to actualize self love. As I said before, we the number 5 is about our 5 senses. Of course, we have the four main elements that we are made of, which is water, earth, fire, and air. But we also have the psyche, the ether, that makes it 5, and so we have those. 5 is really which we hear about in the scriptures about the 5 virgins. We hear about, or as I say, 5 senses. We are hearing about fifth dimension now, and I'm believing that on our template is about a fifth dimension, or it's giving us that opportunity to explore fifth dimension when we explore Eve, and when we explore the here we are when we explore the sacrifice template. So, the sacrifice template, it would seem that the story of Christ in itself has offered that kind of understanding, because we see when we are in Christ, we are a new creature, which puts us under the number 5, which also has the new NEW. It not only puts us in the numerical value of what is said to be what is equals to be Christ as Christ, but we could see that Christ number 5 goes way down into that new in the middle here, which tells us that we are a new creature, which gives us a new perspective of life, which offers us that new opportunity or a new way of seeing things, because when we are here it's as if we are on top of a roof or top of a mountain, and we can see on either sides. We can consciously choose where we go. It is at this point when Satan had said to Christ, in fact, Satan is SAT. We have we could see it's in that area Satan had been very busy with the A here, which has the 3 strokes here too. STA, SATAN. There are 2 A's with Satan here. I was wondering about the amount of A's in the word Sarah and in the word Abraham. And if we are told that Satan, being so smart, of course, we now are making this connection, a connection with the A's. Perhaps it's no wonder Abraham was given an extra A when his name was changed from Abram, which had 2 A's, to Abraham, which became 3 A's. Wonderful. Okay, so but we can see how five puts us in this position here. All these numerical values of 5, and we have the L for revelation, which is like either the elbow, we could say the elbow. When you're running, your arm goes forward, helps you to move forward into that elated dimension or elated state, and or our feet moves us forward right here, and that is really a wonderful position to be in, because it takes us into what we call Fox City. And being in Fox City, of course, we are faced with that other A. Now, that too speaks of, as I've mentioned, the other A that was in Abraham. So there, it's as if like Satan had come to that point, Christ had come to that point, or anyone who comes to that point, when you get into that middle point, like where God had changed Abraham's name from Abraham to Sarah, to Abram, from Abram to Abraham, and so it meant that you are automatically given this A, or this new state, or new way of seeing, new way of being in this fox position. It's that LA, LA, um, feeling. It's that elation. You have been elated, and you are in this new place. You are new. You are becoming wiser. You are realizing that you are making better sense of your life. You are making better decisions. And of course, we get into the gypsy journey where we're further looking at our heaven and earth and heaven position. We are able to go through that stage. It's no wonder it said there was to get into the kingdom, it's through the narrow way. I said narrow gate, but it's I reflected narrow way. So it's as if it's the narrow way would be getting to understand where this narrow point is, and then you get into heaven. There's the kingdom. Of course it's a dome. It's the dome that goes up here. We see that. We see. Okay. All right. And of course, headquarter we have 8 here, which of course is reflective of that headquarter zone, earth and heaven. Okay, and then we happily pay our dues to the Inland Revenue. We in fact we don't pay, we just donate. Okay, so to continue, if you are new to this is the template we are working with. This is, we are dealing with the heart of the matter. Matter equals 5. 5 equals Christ. 5 is Eve. 5 is key. 5 is open. And so 5 is also lock. So with Mother Eve, we are able to open and close. We close, I'm not sure, but we are able to shut as well. Shut, I believe, is 5. Let's just look at this. This is becoming very delicious. SHUT. That's 2, 3, 8, 1. So 5 and 8 is 13, and 1, 14. So 14, of course, 1 and 4 is 5. So I've got a splendid memory. Yes. Okay, so shut. So we can shut, and it's no wonder we have the two sides of that story with Eve. We have two, in fact, we are presented two sides. There are two sides, but perhaps we have been fed one side much more than the other. We have been fed with the side that shuts, that where it is shut, one is the door shuts. It's as if there is no good thing. It's Eve had been bad. The fruit was, of course, although it was said that the fruit was good, yet still it was bad. And further down the scriptures, we had kind of good thing be bad. So there we are. Eve had seen something good. She ate of the fruit and saw it was good. Because everything God did, which the word every, in everything, is the name Eve. Eve is the beginning of this every. In fact, I think every is actually 5 too. EVERY. Let's do this. 7, 9, 545. And I like the way it's also 5 letters. This every. So 7 and 9 is 16, and 4, 16 and 5 is 21, and 4, 25, and 5, 25, and 5, 30. Okay, so this is 3, and Eve would be 5. So, okay, so of course we are talking about Eve here. So Eve is in everything, but we see every hair, every meaning that of something airy, or every, or um we use that. So the ry has given it that 3 frequency, that it has given it that shape of that 3, that is that wave that goes into everything. It's like it almost seems like a germ that is really being obnoxious as well. It just goes, it's just having fun. That's what 3 is doing. It's just having fun. Okay, all right. And so we see we are talking about the heart of the matter. In fact, it would have been nice. I think I might just call this the heart of the matter of number 5. Okay, but we'll just see. It's understanding numbers that I have been calling this. Understanding the number 4. Understanding. I've got to go over understanding number 3. I might have just stuck to this just to make it simple. Okay, because sometimes it's best to keep things simple. So we have covered quite a few words that that's 5, because Christ said, I have come to give you joy, or give you life that you may have more joy. The word joy equals 5. We see that joy, this is another word that equals 5. 7, 6, 1. So 7 and 6, 13, and 1, 14. So there we are with 14. I have come to give you life, that you may have life more abundantly, or more joy. But I know the word joy has been there. And I think I had done the word abundantly, which I won't do now. It either equals 33 abundantly, which would, if it's 33, then that would be in direct correlation with believe and Genesis and words such as those. But there we have 5 for joy. And now we had it's we I have come that you, the word bring as well, that you may bring. I think that word is somewhere in one of those texts, so that equals 32. Because I am repeating Emmett Fox, I will continue to for now mention Emmett Fox in his book, The Power of Constructive Thinking, something to that name. It's a compilation of essays, but he says in there, nothing can come into your consciousness unless it finds something like itself on which to attach itself to. Basically, for you to have that consciousness of Christ within you, you need to be recognizing that 5 frequency within you. Where is that 5 frequency located within you? Is it not in this section in the middle here? Is it not in what we would call the heart? Of course, the word heart equals 7. But I'm sure, of course, we have so many words from the word heart. We had we had at, we had re or heat, and so many words come from the word heart. So I'm sure we can find the 5 frequency in that word, or in the heart. We can find it on our faces. We can find the I am. There we are. I am that, the dots, I am. We need to recognize it. It's not about just saying, oh, yes, I have the Spirit of Christ within me. Yes, you may have some kind of conviction, and I'm not going to dispute whatever it is that one is experiencing or their conviction, because conviction is really a very profound experience or transformation one can have. I am not going to say no to that, but I believe it is the consciousness of transformation that really makes all the difference to us. The consciousness of that which we apply to our daily lives. So, for instance, when we are saying that, yes, we have the conviction of Christ, the Christ Spirit, the number 5 within us, but yet we are not at liberty, or we do not permit ourselves to see it in the other, to see it on another, to see God's signature on another person. Although while I am saying that, I am hearing about, oh, there are people walking around, but they are not of God, and and so on. But I think what we can associate with, what we can see, what we can become conscious of, is that we are able to connect with. If it comes into our consciousness, then that which comes into our consciousness is that we are connecting with. Hence, we may not be connecting the dots, or we may not be, it's as if we are seeing a part of, or some people, we are only seeing them as this part. We are not seeing that they've got the AM to say I am, which also equals 5. The AM equals 5. But we are not looking at the whole to say, I am that. I am on this face, on this signature. And that's what I believe that actualizing self-will love is about. So there we are. When we can experience that, we can experience more joy. We can open the lock. We can unlock that dome. Dome equals 5. We are our king. There, you are the king of that dome because you have that same frequency. It's like the dome can recognize you, or you can recognize the dome because you are 5. The dome is 5. Christ is 5. Eve is 5. So whenever we are in these 5s, of course, everything has 2 sides. And the 2 sides as well is that we are given the liberty of which choice we are making. It's just as though it were a coin. If you are looking at a coin from head, you are only seeing the head. It doesn't mean that it hasn't got a tail side to it, which forms the whole of that coin. There we are talking about the number 5. Hence, we also talking about the number 5. We see we speak of the in the Psalms, which is one of my favorite Psalm, number 8, the Psalm number 8, and I love it. And one day I just hope I can really decode the whole of that Psalm. But where it says, "And when I consider the works of thy hands, the moon and stars which thou hast ordained," there is the point about the finger. These are the things that we are thinking. And yes, you created with the finger. When I consider your finger, but finger, the word finger equals 41, which is the mirror aspect of Eve. So there we have finger, which is 41, and Eve is 14. It's that is what we are. We are in that mirage, if you like, but it is that helps us to understand and make sense of who we are. It's that when we go to the mirror and we can see our hair, our nose, our mouth, we put on our makeup, whatever it is we do there, we know that that is an image. We all know that now. But hence, it's the same thing we are faced with in our everyday life. You are a mirror of myself. I am a mirror of you. And so, all what we are doing, we are in another grand mirage. We understand that. But that is what helps us to get a sense of who we are, or our sense of our existence. So there we are with finger. Finger, I have done I felt that that was a beautiful presentation in the sense of the context about married. What is in the ring? What is in the ring? That's where I understood the number 5 being in the ring. That's where I understood the finger equals number 5, and you are in the ring when you connect with your partner and you both are 5. This is what it's about. Both people are actually putting the married thing or married ring on the same finger, but the word finger, they are connecting on that vibration where they are conscious of that. And I have been married before, but I had not understood that. These are things that have been hidden in some way, that we have not understood. That yes, we say we go, we stand and we make these vows and we do all those things. But what if we were to understand the full significance of that vibration? It's as if that would offer another aspect of, like, oh, when you meet your best friends and you know you have that thing in common. Oh yes, or you know you have the same birth sign. It's about that thing. It strengthens, it helps strengthen, or it raises another level of vibration. So the word finger equals 5. And of course, there is so much to 5. And I have said life equals 5, and power. This is a thing we are all about. Some of us on power trips, and God knows, but about empowering ourselves. That word power, we all want it to some extent or some area in our lives, whether we believe it or not. We want to feel that we are the master of our ship. Yes. Um, there's another beautiful word I got, perseverance. That is, and that's 59. So that 5 is 5. Oh, this is beautiful. So the very first word in the Bible, which I say, the first word that begins Genesis, when it says in the beginning. So we have in, I-N. So I is 9 and N is 5. That's how powerful that 5 is. 5 is also, although it is in the first word of the scriptures, and actually, I would believe that it ends in Revelation when it says amen. That N would be the end as well. So we see end, the word end or ended equals 5. And we see that is evident in the Holy Bible when it says amen, enna, the last letter. And so with the beginning is 9. When we add the beginning and the end together, when we add these two together, 9 and 5, that equals 14. And that equals 5, the numerical value. So what does that tell us? It's really, a lot of us are seeing the Bible as the key to life. And that is, in essence, we could say that the Bible has been offered as a key to life. It's key. And I can say key now because I am seeing aspects to that key that I hadn't seen before. It's as if it's a key that has, it's like a master key. Ah, I get it. It is a master key. Now, the word master, of course, equals 22. So if we were to add 2 and 2 together, that'd be 4, and 4 and 5, which is key, that would be 9. So we see how the master key in numerical value coincides with the key. I love it. I hope you do too. So basically, we have been looking at, and I'm sure I am in no position to even begin to say anything about these great mathematicians out there who have done wonderful works. I'm sure some of them I don't understand, but it feels like it makes sense, with numbers, and we see with the number 5. Well, as far as I can recall, it was the easiest timetable to work out. 5 ones are 5, 5 twos 10, 15, and we know it was always added this 5, which is always like the same for another number, but it just seemed one of the easiest to learn at school. But 5 is really telling us that it is the master key. I think it's the master key to this dimension, to this place where we're at, this Garden of Eden where we are at. It is the master key. That's what I feel it is. And I'm on this path discovering the master key to 5. So this is let's take conclude on this one, this part, in fact, of 5, and this is the third part of 5. It looks like we may go into even 5 of 5s here, or more if need be. So I hope you have enjoyed this. It's just to give you a few words quickly that equals 5. Actually, the word virtue, which is in direct correlation with the word Christ, that equals 5. When God said, and God made, the word made is 14, that equals 5. Months, no, not months, yeah. The word guided is 32. That is 5. I've got glory, but I have to check that, double check that. And God moved upon the face of the earth is 5. And when Christ said, I am the vine, that's 5:23. And mine enemies, or mine God, or mine is always used in the scriptures, particularly in the Psalms. That's 23 and 5. Men is 5, because that's 14. So we see when Christ came from the generations of even or Eve, we hear of Eve, men, the sons of men, that's 14. So that's 5 too. Handed, and when you hand something or it's handed, that's 5. Double. Now that's interesting. The word double, because I have been talking about that W. That W, now the word U is 7. But this is what I have been going on about, that I believe that there was co-creation. We have seen it. I have done the numerical values, that 7 and 7 is 14. It's that there was the male aspect of God, 7, or the 7 days of creation, the 7. However, we have got like Eve, for instance, and Christ, and Jesus was 11. And then we have seen where I have done this before, but we also have got the 11. So we see how 2 and 5 become 7, and 7 and 7, because when God saw, in fact, everything God created, and he saw it was good, that was a division. Or it's like something was cut in half. Everything was cut in half, and he saw that everything. So we are seeing that Eve and was being mentioned there in everything again, and saw. So perhaps it's talking about or mentioning these two aspects of God in that sense. And when God had finished all his work that he had ended. So the he as well equals 13. 13 I have been talking about, it comes in that two, number two, where that bond happens, where that 13, so where it's the Last Supper with the 12 disciples at Christ. So we see where that 13 happens. We see also the word wrong. I have done right and wrong on that, which is 32. It is not 23 that would have reflected like Eve, or 14 that would have reflected like Eve. It is actually like 32, like in direct correlation with the word Christ, which comes under the new, right here. Right here. This would be seen to be wrong. This would be seen to be wrong. Now, for whatever reason, that would, in fact, I have been very surprised with this, but this is where we have been, perhaps it is a very good example of teaching us about this wrong and right that we get muddled up in. And because it's as if, for instance, we see what's wrong today is right tomorrow. Right is actually, in fact, wrong and right. This is interesting. I'm just going to do this quickly because I believe right is 8. So if right is 8 and wrong is 5, that would be very interesting. I think that's what has happened. So let's just do that. RIGHT. This is 28799. Okay. 28799. Okay, RIGHT. Okay, so this is 8 and 2, 10, and 7, 17, and 9 and 9, 18. So that would be 35. So basically, 18 and 17, 7, 7, 14, and 1, 15. Yes, that's 35. So basically, right is now, for some reason, I really got this idea, not just an idea, I just got to understand that the healthiest way for me was to take right and wrong out of the equation of my perception, in that they were of two different sides. Because it got to a point in my life experiences that I saw what was right today is wrong tomorrow, and what was wrong today is right tomorrow. So that really meant for me, after a while, when you begin to embrace the totality of what is, then right and wrong really doesn't matter. When you start understanding to be of compassion and love, actualizing self love, it doesn't matter much anymore. So I hope you have enjoyed this anyway. I hope you have found it fun, although we are talking about number 5, and I would just like to really close this at least on one word that says, oh, well, we do double. Double is number 5, number 23, and so we see how this is working out very nicely. Right and wrong, up and down, we see how those things are happening. So I hope you have found this fun. I hope you have found it interesting. If you like this, click the like button and share, because this is how we do it. We share to actualizing self-full love. Stay blessed, stay bright, stay ignited, and be a field, because we are planting new seeds. Namaste. And spill over with love.